Hey guys, it's Bill from Linden, Tennessee. Part 3 of the wiring series. I got it mostly done, I think. And there's been quite a lot of interest in this project. Most of it has been very positive, and some has been apprehensive because they're a little bit scared of the wiring. I've gone over this before, but we'll kind of touch on it again. The wiring for the motor is actually really easy. You just got your controller that's on the other side. It's got two wires here. Uh, uh, there's a negative and a positive, and they go up to the contactor, which is this gizmo. And then you got two wires coming in from your throttle, and then you got your key switch comes in and taps into the contactor, and then just goes there. So, and then of course you got your motor positive and negative, and then that comes in from your main 48-volt battery pack. So the wiring for this is very simple. Now this, I'll admit, this is a little bit intimidating, but it's self-inflicted. And the reason for that is because I've got a mower, like a billy mower, and it has its own separate motor. And then I've also got an electric power takeoff on the front and the back. And each one of them has their own contact. And I've touched on this before, but the reason I've got two contactors instead of just having one is because there's situations where I may only want to have the electric power takeoff operating, like if I want to have an inverter or something. I don't want the motor running, so I need to have its own little contact for that, so I can individually shut this one off with an override switch. Up here on the top, this is our little motor controller, and it's got four little wires coming out of it. And this is the relay that that makes it so that my soft start isn't operating my belly mower if I don't want the belly mower on, but I might need to soft start the electric power takeoff. Like if I've got a wood chipper or something, I still need to soft start that wood chipper motor to spin it up slow, but I don't need the belly mower going if I'm chipping wood. So the kill switch, my override, will activate this relay and turn off this contactor so that it won't slow start the motor for the mower. Anyway, so like I said, this is all self-inflicted. This is just a shunt. I'm going to have that. That's going to be a fuse for the mower, and that's a fuse for the main drive motor. And all of this is all that's left of all this stuff. All of this mess just all comes into this like 6 wires right here. One of them goes to a couple of them go to the ignition switch, a couple of them go to fuses, and just whatever. And the way that I kind of came up with this is I set all these components on this plate, and then I drew a picture of the components so that I can wire them together. Now, I made several different wiring diagrams. This is the part that's probably intimidating. I drew several different wire diagrams just to have all the stuff, just knowing where my soft start is, and my motor, and my EPTO, and my controller, and my drive motor, and then the 3 different relays for all of that stuff. And I even drew it in another way because I was hoping I could make the wiring a little bit simpler on the drive motor, the mower motor, and the e-power takeoff. I could just have one common negative to those, and then just have one tap coming off of that and going to the controller or the battery or whatever. But that's not going to work because this soft start controls the ground, while the controller for the drive motor controls the positive side. So I couldn't have it all wired together like this. I had to have it independent. But anyway, so then I redrew it, and it got all kind of jumbled and stuff. But I made it so that everything is sort of accounted for. And then as I was wiring this up, just as I picked a wire to go to a thing, I'd come down here and I'd update my schematic and put a color code on each of the wires, so that now I can transfer this to a schematic on my computer that I can easily update. And I haven't tested any of this yet. I don't know if this works, but it should. This is, despite it being looking kind of complicated, it's actually fairly simple. But so there. So now let's I'll put this over on the tractor and we can see how it looks on there. Hold on. All right, and there it is. I've gone ahead and trimmed these cables. These are my power cables going into the back side of that panel. and I went ahead and trimmed them down and got my little quick disconnects on there, and then that goes to that. And so this is all that you'll ever see. This, of course, is going to have a console over the top of it and a steering wheel and all that stuff and little throttle, but you'll never see any of this mess. And as far as maintenance goes, it won't be terribly difficult to get to. The main fuses are sort of on the bottom, and of course I'm going to have a seat here, and this is going to be all very, very much more crowded. But you come down here, if I take there'll be a little tunnel cover right here, of course. If you take that little tunnel cover off and you get in there, you can see all the fuses, like that one there. Where'd it go? That one there in the middle. Yeah, that one there in the middle, that's for the charger. So if that ever blows or whatever, I'll just be able to reach in there and get it. And then, of course, the two big fuses, if they ever go. But I mean, honestly, if either any of those fuses ever go, it won't just be a matter of come in here and replace it. I'll have to figure out what I've done wrong. And a way that I could ease some of that maintenance if I ever do have to take this panel off is all those wires, those 5 or 6 wires that were hanging out there. I could put a little connector on it, so it'll be, you can just disconnect that connector and then take this whole piece off. Now the thing that I will have to do is I'll have big cables coming from this contactor, that contactor, and this contactor going to various, going to the motors or the controller or whatever, but I'll have to undo those ones. But that's not a big deal. I don't expect to have any problems with it. Of course I don't. And over here, let's look under the hood here. Yeah, so this is all my 16 battery cells, and made some little cables that go from the cells to the main power outputs. Now these will all have little bitty bus bars. There'll be one here, one there, one here, one there, and then there'll be one that jumps across here, and likewise all the way over there. So this will be my most negative terminal, and this will be my most positive terminal. And yeah, that's how that goes. And now I'm looking at this. I've actually got this. Oh my goodness, I've actually got this wrong. All right, see, because I've got this labeled as the red, most positive, so that goes to that one. Now that stuff's the most positive. But looking at these things, and what screws me up on this, and what has screwed me up again, is these damn terminals. I got a black and you got a white. Well, the black is actually the positive. So, damn. But that's okay. All I'll have to do is I'll have to take these terminals out, or take these batteries out, and just turn each one of them around. Or maybe this can go over here. I'm not sure. That's ugly. Oh dear. Well, I can figure that out. I'll have to figure that out. Oh boy. Anyway, yeah. So that's the thing. And this, I've got all the little bus bars that I'm talking about. I'll have to drill and tap one little bitty hole in it so that I can put little screws and put little connectors on from each one of those wires, because that goes to this. This is my little equalizer. I talked about that before, but what that does is it monitors each of the cell voltages, and if one of, say this cell for whatever reason is at a higher voltage and this one is at a lower voltage, it monitors all the cell voltages, and it'll take energy from this one, and through a bunch of capacitors and magic, it'll put that energy back into this one. So that's how that's going to work. And another thing I may do is I may put like a 12 volt like cigarette lighter thing in here somewhere. I've got a choke on the console here. I've got choke. Well, I don't have a choke, so what am I gonna do with that? I don't know. I could put a cigarette lighter there. That might be something. I don't know. Any ideas? Let me know. What else? Oh yeah, and one of the things, Saturday, this is Sunday, Saturday I was having a little bit of trouble getting going with all this. I didn't have that wiring diagram drawn out yet, so just looking at it and trying to figure out, it's really, really difficult. You got to have it written down, but I didn't have it written down yet. So I went ahead and knocked off one of the things that needs to be done also, and that is, of course, the charge port. So that charge port right there, and that, hold on, that will go back there behind this grill, just like that. And that's where you charge it. So you just plug the extension cord in right there, and that's it. So I just had to make that little bracket right there. And then this is the the charge cord from the charger. So I'll cut that off and, you know, just sort of splice that in there. I'll make like a little bracket, little wire bracket down there just to hold it so it doesn't flop around and stuff. It won't get in my little belt here, but that is something that I did, knock that out. Another thing that I got to do, got to come over on this side. I got a buddy at work who's making me some 3D printed little battery cable holder dealies, and they'll go, actually, hold on, I got one right here. Something like this. He's gonna make me a smaller one that fits better, but he makes me these little 3D printed wire holder gizmos, and they're gonna go right there. They're gonna go right there, and then I'll have holes drilled through here that, hold on, these will go in there. So there's a positive, of course, and a negative, and they'll just sort of stick right here, and then some of the cables from inside of here the EPTO cables will come down here and will bolt on to the inside of that, and then one they'll come in here and it'll bolt, and then it'll cross through here, go to the front, but then on the back side I'll have another one that goes back, and it'll go to the electric power takeoff in the back. But so that's what I've been up to. I kind of starting to put my little levers back in there so I know what I'm sort of up against. But as far as spacing goes, yep. And then let's see what's the next thing to do. I guess finish wiring that. I'll drill and tap all them little tabs, get the equalizer, and then probably I need to come up with a way to lift this whole mechanism off of here. So what I'll probably do, since I'm going to have to take all these batteries out anyway, I'll probably stiffen up these edges right here, and then put some 1/8 inch behind there, some 1/8 inch steel behind there, and then I can make sort of a little lifting mechanism that, you undo those four, and it'll bolt on top of there, and it'll have like a hook, and then you can lift up this whole thing off to get access underneath of there, because I'm gonna have to start running the heavy duty cable for my motors and stuff. So that's what I've been up to. That's where I'm at. And I thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.